check and see if we know. Yeah, we live. I'll post a link in the group. All right. Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Call Haloyim Lai, Yahweh Ba'asham Yahweh Shai, which means all praises to Yahweh is the name of the Heavenly Father. Ba'asham means in the name. Yahweh Shai is the name of his only begotten Son. Double honors to the apostles and elders at Great Millstone. And peace and blessings to all you brothers who preach the gospel in truth and in sincerity and always in charity. And just a quick lesson through the spirit, man. Me and the brother Pops, Kaparia out in Chicago, you know, got this little lesson lined up, Lord willing, it's edifying. But pretty much we're gonna get into the build up to the so-called first Thanksgiving, you know, and what all took place, you know, and what all happened through the spirit, you know. So I'm gonna get into this article right here. It's called originally English cannibals ate out the indigenous nations, you know. So without further ado, we're gonna get into it. It says many researchers have come on Rasta Livewire to provide information about English cannibals and how they consumed the indigenous people of North America. Yes, they ate them with no regards, man. Hey, and this is what they don't teach you in your history books. They don't teach you this in class, because when these devils came across here, man, hey, they didn't know how to hunt. They didn't know how to grow crops. They didn't know how to fish. You know, these devils didn't bathe. They was funky as all hell. They was digging up dead bodies, eating them, and as you can see, they were eating the Gadites who were there, right? It says information also rests in diverse places, positively demonstrating that it was the European barbarians who were unrepentant cannibals and savages rather than the indigenous nations which they met there and which they eventually killed off. So here it is, this devil called them Indians, which the word Indian means savage. So he called our brethren, the Gadites, you know, he called them savages, when in all actuality, what'd you say, Pop?
When he was.
Yeah, in all actuality, this devil is the goddamn savage, man. This devil is the, can we get that? We grab Hebrews 12 and 16. You know, because the scriptures speak about this devil, man, being the basis of men, you know, being violent in the earth. Matter of fact, I grabbed that while you grabbing that, Pops. You know, while our people is celebrating this wicked ass day, man, this pagan day, you know, which celebrates the destruction, the downfall of our people, the massacre, the slaughter of our people, man.
Said 12 and 13?
12 and 16, I believe.
Hebrews 12 and 16. Yep. Lest there be any fornicator or profane person as Esau, who for one morsel of meat sold his birthright.
That's it, man. Who for one, who if it be any more profane person than Esau, man.
Outside.
So this is the most wickedest, vilest guy on this planet, you know. And he got a nerve to call the Gadites, to call the Reubenites, to call the whole Northern Kingdom, because they call them Native Indians. He got a nerve to call them Indians, which means savage, man. You know, he got a nerve to look down on you so-called Negroes as if y'all just the school, which, hey, you know, Jake fucking up made themselves such from leaving off the law, statutes, and commandments. Hey, but you are the greatest people upon this planet, man. And this goddamn devil is the worst thing walking, you know? This is I'm gonna get straight to the point. Job 30 and 8. It says well, let me start up. I'm gonna start at 1. Salaki. This is Job 30 and 1. It says, but now they that are younger than I have me in derision. When the younger means beneath us, man. You know, They're lower than us, right? It says, whose fathers I would have disdain. Hey, because it said in Genesis 25, it says the elder shall serve the younger, you know? So in Ecclesiastes 10, it says, I seen princes walking upon the earth as servants, and I seen the servants upon horses, you know? This devil is beneath us, man. It says, whose fathers I would have disdained to have set with the dogs of my flock. Why? You already know why, man. You know, bestiality is being legalized in different states across America, man. You know, they got motherfucking sheep and goat brothels over there in England and shit, man.
You got bitches that put peanut butter and do that wicked ass shit.
They let you know who it is, man. Edomites, man. Right? More profane person than Esau. It says, yea, whereunto might the strength of their hands profit me, in whom old age was perished. For want of famine, they were solitary, fleeing into the wilderness in former times, desolate and waste. Now, this is going into the fall of Rome when it was pushed into the Caucasus Mountains. But what is this right here, man? Hey, they was destitute, waste. They didn't have nothing to eat. So what they started doing, man, eating the people, digging up dead bodies, eating the corpses. You understand? Eating the dead of their own people that that died. You know? This is this devil, man. You understand? It says, verse 4, who cut up mallows by the bushes and juniper roots for their meat. They were driven forth from among men. They cried after them as after a thief. And then you know who that thief is. John 10:10. The thief cometh not but to steal, kill, and destroy. Verse 6, to dwell in the cliffs of the valleys and caves of the earth and in the rocks. Who is that, man?
They still built to this day.
Yeah. Yeah, the book of Obadiah, man. You know, thou that dwellest in the cliffs of the rock. Who is that? You Caucasians. Caucasian mean what? Cave dweller. You Edomites, man. It says, verse 7, among the bushes they brayed, under the nettles they were gathered together. Verse 8 is the point. They were children of fools, yea, children of base men. They were viler than the earth, man. Let's get a couple of these words, man. Children of base men. It ain't giving me the Hebrew for base, you know. But hey, but let's get it. Let's.
We'll be going get it.
No, I just go to the etymon. It's late 14th century, low or of little height, meaning lowly, low, mean. You know, low on the social scale.
Yeah. so whereas Jacob, I should say, whereas before we was Israelites, we was the sons of God, men of renown, okay, and had status then, and saw the daughters of men, like you said, they was low. They had no status. They had no status, especially once they got driven up into the Caucasus Mountains.
Yeah, Esau was always morally low. He's that serpent, man.
Right.
You know, he's always been base. That's how the Lord created him. And this is the word vile. It says morally repugnant, morally flawed, corrupt, wicked. You understand? That's why I said the wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies, man. Habakkuk 2 says, what? The soul that is lifted up in them is not upright. You know? And it's all throughout history, man. You can see this devil's track record and what he left behind. He's left behind straight destruction. You know. If you got a precept, all right. I'm gonna continue in this article. It says information also rests in diverse places, positively demonstrating that it was the European barbarians who were unrepentant cannibals and savages rather than the indigenous nations which they met there and which they eventually killed off.
Unrepentant.
Yep, unrepentant. Yep. Unrepentant, you know. It says, however, for hundreds of years, those same English cannibals narrated stories of Aztec cannibals, Mayan cannibals, etc., when in fact they were the cannibals eating and drinking the flesh and the blood of Christ, being a subliminate form of the Moor. Let's look that word up. What is that right there, man? And it shows you how they carried paganism. You know, linking that paganism to Christianity, man. You know, they sitting here drinking, eating the flesh and in the blood. Talking about they eating and drinking the blood of Christ, man. You know, it's madness. Hey, but that's the devil for you, man. Look up this word. All right, this is teeth. Yeah, I have no idea what that madness is. Lord willing, I go into it a little bit more later on. But I'm gonna keep going. It says, however, in this age of revelation, the lies are being uncovered, and truth stands unchallenged. Right? Oh, Baba Kushah, we gotta grab that. We gotta grab that. Can you get that Obadiah where it says, how are the things of Esau searched out? Okay. Baba Kushah. And I'm gonna grab this, man. You know, because that last little part said what? It says that however, in this age of revelations, the lies are being uncovered and truth stands unchallenged, man. Right? This is First Esdras chapter 4. I'm not sure the verse. This is First Esdras 4. And 38. It says, as for truth, it endureth and is always strong. It liveth and conquereth forevermore. Let me start up. Slakia, verse 35. This First Esdras 4 and 35. Is not he great that maketh these things? Therefore, great is truth and stronger than all things, man. You understand? The truth, man, this word is what's shining light on all the darkness, man. You know, and stronger than all things. All the earth calleth upon the truth, and the heaven blesseth it. All works shake and tremble at it, and with it is no unrighteous thing. Wine is wicked, the king is wicked, women are wicked, all the children of men are wicked, and such are all their wicked works, and there is no truth in them. In their unrighteousness also they shall perish. As for truth, it endureth and is always strong. It liveth and conquereth forevermore. With her there is no accepting of persons or rewards, but she doeth the things that are just, and refraineth from all unjust and wicked things, and all men do well like of her works. Neither in her judgment is any unrighteousness, and she is the strength, kingdom, power, and majesty of all ages. Blessed be the power of truth, man. You know, and that's what's coming out, man. That's why the scriptures speak about shameful spewings, man. Hey, this is shameful in, to these Edomites, man. All this history being dug up, you know.
Right. They was hoping that it was gone. I got the Obadiah and I got something in Ezra as well.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this is Obadiah 1 and 6. How are the things of Esau searched out? How are his hidden things sought up?
Hey, how is that, man? It's asking a question. Hey, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, man. You know, scripture said we are the light of the world, man. The light is shining in darkness, man. You know, it says what's done in the darkness shall come to light, man. All things will be exposed. Go ahead, Pop.
Okay, this is our second Ezra 16. I'm starting about 61. He made man and put his heart in the midst of the body and gave him breath, life, and understanding. Yea, the spirit of almighty power, which made all things and searched out all hidden things in the secrets of the earth. Surely he knoweth your inventions and what ye think in your hearts, even them that sin and would hide they sin. Therefore have the Lord exactly searched out all your works, and he will put you all to shame.
That's it. Hey, the Lord searched out all the works, man. Everything is being brought up, man. Hey, and you've been put to shame. You know, that's why the scripture speaks about those shameful spewings, man. You know.
One more.
65.
And when your sins are brought forth, ye shall be ashamed before men, and your own sins shall be your accusers in that day.
That's it. That's it. Hey, the Lord, because the Lord gonna render you what? Hey, according to what you rendered unto hey, it says you reap what you sow. Right? It says you reap what you sow. You know? So we continue back in this article. It says reports reaching us from the mainstream media finally acknowledges the cannibalistic nature of the early English colonizers. The reports indicate that human bones discovered in the early European settlements prove that those early English settlers in North America were, without doubts, cannibals eating up the existence of their captives, man. And this is the build up to what happened to the so-called first Thanksgiving. You understand? This is the build up, man. And this is and what they teach you in school is not what happened, man. You know?
Right.
This devil slaughtered the Gadites who helped him, who taught him how to fish, who taught him how to bathe himself, to taught him how to perfume himself, man. You know, taught himself how to plant crops, man.
Right.
Taught himself how to keep warm in the winter. You understand? He slaughtered those people that did that. What's that, Psalms, where it says his words were smoother than butter.
Okay.
But yet war was in his heart.
Yeah.
You know, because all the treaties that he made, man, he went against them, man. That's why the scripture says, never trust thy enemy. You know, while Pop's looking for that, I'm going to keep reading. It says, American scientists, while examining an old English settlement, found human bones with unusual cuts consistent with butchering for meat. Those human bones were then dumped in a nearby rubbish pit. Yep. And this is all your history, Esau. It says dismemberment. Doug Owsley, a forensic anthropologist at the Smithsonian National Museum of Natural History in Washington, D.C., explained that the cuts on the bones were consistent with dismemberment and defleshing. There were numerous chops and cuts, chops to the forehead, chops to the back of the skull, and also a puncture to the left side of the head that was used to essentially pry off that side. Wow. The purpose was to extract the brain. And this is what these devils was doing, man. It says mythology. It says, as would be expected, major news media has picked up the news too, but had given it a slant which obfuscates the significance of what was discovered. The news media is suggesting that the cannibalism was limited to a period of 1609, 1610 and occurred during the extreme famine, which there's bullshit, man. He was doing it the whole time they arrived over here, man. You know?
Yeah, ain't that Cristobal Colon that said that he never put his sword down?
Yeah, yeah. It says that Europeans were notorious cannibals is a little known fact to most people, but the inordinate love affair between the European and meat comes from some genes that promote rampant cannibalism. Hey, it's going to the genes, right? To say that that's genetically passed down. That's who it's going to, man. Esau, Edom. The most vile person upon this planet, man. Malachi 1. They shall call them the border of wickedness, man. You understand? It says the Europeans' highest religion imagines slaying, sacrifice 30-something-year-old black.
Damn.
Watch this, right?
We're right there.
The Europeans' highest religion imagines a slain or a sacrifice 30-something-year-old black man called Jesus, who they can eat his flesh and drink his blood for life. Where they get that from, man?
Damn.
You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? It says the highest medicinal practice by Europeans through the Renaissance period, the rebirth. Oh. The highest medicinal practice by Europeans through the Renaissance period to modern time required the eating of the body parts of dead black Egyptians unearthed from their repos. This was called mumia and widely available as medicine in Europe until the late 19th century. So, hey, so it's letting you know what throughout the Renaissance. So this talking about when Esau came back into power, man. His rebirth. You see the vile, sick, sadistic bullshit this devil did, man.
And see, our people are so fucked up and gone and whatnot. When they had this Christopher Columbus Day or whatever they were celebrating, you know, but they had this fucking festival in our neighborhood called about the Renaissance, and I was like, y'all even know what y'all fucking celebrating? Because I mean, I'm seeing so-called Aztec warriors headgear, but ain't nobody got no full beard. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody trying to remember how they supposed to be trying to live then. Go ahead, Al.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
It says, cannibalism was widespread in Europe as evidenced by English folk tales about the teeny tiny woman who went to the church graveyard to look for a bone. The ritual of the eating the flesh and blood of their god man was also one strange European custom pointing to ancient cannibalistic roots. Even the Jews were routinely accused of cannibalism by the Gentile Europeans who themselves were cannibals, which, hey, the Israelites, man, hey, that's not our custom, man.
Say that's not even our law.
You know, we didn't do that madness, man. You understand? Now there are instances in our history where Jakes did do that, man.
Yeah.
You can read in the Book of Kings when the Assyrians, you say you got it?
Yeah, I knew that was gonna come up.
Yeah, we could grab it, you know, because it was instances in our history, man. You know, the brother Kapari, he's finna get the one in Kings, but it also took place when during 70 AD. And that was a curse that was placed upon our people. When you read Deuteronomy 28, it says that thou shalt eat the fruit of thy body, man.
Yeah, this is 2 Kings 6 and 25. And there was a great famine in Samaria, and behold, they besieged it until. And
the reason this happened to Jakes is because first off, it was a punishment us going off, and secondly, it's because our enemies besieged us, man. Who was besieging these goddamn?
Exactly.
You see what I'm saying?
That was the point. That's why I knew it was gonna come, because I was like, we did this out of fucking hard times, and we got another hard time coming up called the Jacob's Trouble.
Yeah. Yeah.
But these motherfuckers here, man, they just do what they do.
They do it to do it, man, because they some sick bastards, man. Go ahead, Pops.
Okay. And there was a great famine in Samaria, and behold, they besieged it until an ass's head was sold for 80 pieces of silver, and a fourth part of a calf of dove's dung.
So they were selling unlawful as a donkey head,
right?
And dove shit.
And dove shit for 5 pieces of silver.
That's how scarce it was, man. Why? Because of the besiegement. You know? Go ahead.
Right. And as the king of Israel was passing by upon the wall, there cried a woman unto him, saying, help me, help my lord, O king. And he said, if Yahweh do not help thee, when shall I help thee? Out of the barn floor, or out of the wine press? And the king said unto her, what aileth thee? And she answered, this woman said unto me, give thy son that we may eat him today, and we will eat my son tomorrow. So we boiled my son and did eat him. And I said unto her on the next day, give thy son that we may eat him. And she hath hid her son. And it came to pass, when the king heard the words of the women, that he rent his clothes, and he passed by upon the wall. And the people looked, and behold, he had sackcloth within upon his flesh.
Right, man, because that was a shame, man. Hey, that was the northern kingdom. He was a wicked ass king. And he bugged out like, what the fuck, man?
You motherfuckers eat y'all kids for real?
You know? And that's a low part in our history, man. But here it is. These goddamn devils besieged us, cooked us, killed us, raped us, robbed us, betrayed us. And here it is, our people celebrating the shit, man.
And had lawful animals running around, and even unlawful animals, even if they wasn't trying to follow the law section, they had animals running around, but they still trying to kill these people and dig up these bodies and eat this.
Because it goes back to their religion, man.
That's right.
About eating jakes, man. Which they do to this day, man.
That's right.
Which they do to this day.
Yeah, what you think that Illuminati blood sacrifice and rituals and shit be dealing with?
The motherfuckers, man, over there in the Bohemian Grove, they sacrifice a little baby and shit, man, to Moloch. You know, they do all that madness, man. They still eat people to this day, man. They still do that madness, man. Particularly you Jakes, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. This hasn't changed, man.
Nobody ever tried to figure out where all the kids are coming up missing off the motherfucking milk bottles and shit, or the fucking paper milk crates and shit that used to be out there that had the baby pictures and shit missing on.
You got the turkey with the cranberry sauce, man. And what does the cranberry sauce represent? Blood. What's that turkey represent? Yo ass, man. They was fucking eating us, man. It says, significance of find. The significance of this find is that gradually what truly occurred in the Americas is coming to light, right? Did we not quote it?
Yeah.
You know, what's done in the dark shall come to light, man.
That's right.
You know, it says the light manifests all things as darkness, roughly paraphrasing, man. And so the Lord is exposing this devil to the fullest extent. It says Europeans came from Europe via Central Asia and then stumbled into North America. They came across a gentle and humble people. They ate out those indigenous people whom they had not wasted in war, or those they have still not worked to death on different plantations and mines. And it's like, you know, what the Northern Kingdom went exactly through what the Southern Kingdom went through, man. They worked on plantations. They was taken into slavery. They was put on those ships and sailed back to England, back to Portugal, back to Spain, you know.
Some of my people, I'm waking up to that. I had a female today. I actually made a mention of that. Guy was talking about Thanksgiving and this, that, and the other. She looked at me and kind of said, what am I supposed to be celebrating? The Trail of Tears? And all I can do is just look at it like, okay. But like I said, our people want to be hooked. But for the bulk of our people, man, they want to be hooked to this motherfucking system and get along. And I got that scripture that you wanted to Psalm when you are.
No, you can let it ride, Pops.
Okay, this is that Psalm 55 and 21. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, for war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords.
Mm-hmm. And that's exactly what he did, man. He came over here, he befriended Gad. You know, Gad taught him how to do all these things, how to plant and do all this. You know what I'm saying?
Made 400 treaties with him.
And then slaughtered them.
Broke all of them.
You know, and then slaughtered them, man. It says, so when next they tell you about the Incan cannibals, remember it is just a mind game. The real and truly and confirmed cannibal in history is the European. Yeah. And right here it says, what is the Edomite, man?
That's it.
Is the Edomite.
Is Esau. Is Idumean.
It says a 1592 engraving called Brazil by Hans Staden. While cannibalism has expired art, it is also a long established part of humanity. Look, and these heathens, man.
They got them cut open like a motherfucking, like they roasted a fucking cow or some shit, man.
These are the Edomites, man. Look at these fuckers, man. They naked and shit, eating arms and legs. Look at a little bastard ass baby, man. You know? Damn. That madness, man. You know? Hey, and that's the end to that article, right? So, Pop, speak real fast. I gotta take this phone call.
Okay, no problem. No problem. So, like I was saying, you know, they dealing with this, but I mean, even going back to the Columbus era, and that Renaissance period, because I had planned on trying to do a sit down on that, and this, I mean, it's just all kinds of light that's coming through on that, with the fact that this Edomite, there was nothing that would stand up or honorable in the idea that when he came over here, that he even cut any kind of break. Like the scripture says, war was in his heart. Even war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords. Cristobal Colon had made that statement that, you know, he never put his sword down. He swung it from the time he got over here with a gentle people, just the way the thing said. The people were gentle and friendly, and they looked out. But that wasn't what Esau, that wasn't what was in Esau's heart, because that's not who he is. He was built and made to be the wicked. He was also built and made to be this devil that was he was made to kill, steal, and destroy. And that's what he came over here to the Americas and did. Just that. He stole land, he killed people by the boatloads and then some, and called it manifest destiny. Okay. But then in the process, they want us to be able to try to forgive them, or whatever the case might be, or show them mercy. And when we out there breaking all this down, you know, they want to ask us, you know, well, why is that y'all have this for these men, or you feel this way? When in actuality, it says these are the vessels fitted for destruction. With that, okay. Yeah. Okay. I'm trying to find the scripture, but I thought I had jotted down a couple scriptures to kind of go along with what we had here. Oh, okay, right. But like we were saying, like I was saying with the brother, you know, these people didn't have. It wasn't done out of stress. I mean, it was told that we was gonna be a curse for us. And I can pull that up in Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter. I think it's the 57th verse, where this was going to be a curse and we was going to have to go through. But it wasn't a curse that these Edomites did it, which Deuteronomy 28 and 57. I start 56. The tender and delicate woman among you, which would not venture to set her sole of her foot upon the ground, for delicateness and tenderness, her eye shall be even toward her husband and her bosom, and toward her son, and toward her daughter, and toward her young one that cometh out from between her feet, and toward her children, which she shall bear, for she shall eat them for one of all things secretly in the seeds of straightness, wherewith thine enemy shall distress thee in thy gates. Okay, so this was a prophecy that was going to happen to us. So that's how we wind up going through it. Like I said, because we did break these laws, statutes, and commandments, and that was going to be that. But these people wasn't going through that. They had people that was right there willing to help them and show them how to get through these times. And these people chose to take the land and eat these people and do this bullshit. Go ahead, now.
Mm-hmm. So now it's this little another little article. It says the real story of Thanksgiving by Susan Bates. You know, I'm just skim through it. It says most of us associate the holiday with happy pilgrims and Indians sitting down to a big feast, and that did happen once. It says the story began in 1614 when a band of English explorers sailed home to England with a ship full of Pequot Indians bound for slavery. Oh, they went into slavery on ships.
Oh,
right?
Damn! I thought that was only the blacks that did that. What the fuck?
Mm-hmm. It says they left behind smallpox, which virtually wiped out those who had escaped. By the time the Pilgrims arrived in Massachusetts Bay, they found only one living Pequot Indian, a man named Squanto, who had survived slavery in England and knew their language. He taught them to grow corn into fish and negotiated a peace treaty between the Pilgrims and the Wampanoag Nation. At the end of the first year, the Pilgrims held a great feast honoring Squanto in the Wampanoag. It says, but as word spread in England about the paradise to be found in the new world, religious zealots called Puritans, and these devils got a nerve to call themselves Puritans, man. You know, only thing pure about you, man, is you pure Satan. You're pure evil, man. It says, called Puritans began arriving by the boatload, finding no fences around the land. They considered it to be in the public domain. Joined by other British settlers, they seized land, capturing strong young natives for slaves and killing the rest. But the Pequot Nation had not agreed to the peace treaty Squanto had negotiated, and they fought back. The Pequot War was one of the bloodiest Indian wars ever fought. It says, hey, and when you celebrate Thanksgiving, this is what you're celebrating, man. That's the destruction, the annihilation, the massacre of our people, man. It says, in 1637, near present-day Groton, Connecticut, over 700 men, women, and children of the Pequot tribe had gathered for their annual Green Corn Festival, which is our Thanksgiving celebration, which this lady that's speaking, I believe she's native, but she's saying our as if, you know, she's a Gadite. Could be Esau, just saying, but whatever. It says, in the pre-dawn hours, the sleeping Indians were surrounded by English and Dutch mercenaries who ordered them to come outside. Those who came out were shot or clubbed to death, while the terrified women and children who huddled inside the longhouse were burned alive. The next day, the governor of the Massachusetts Bay Colony declared a day of Thanksgiving because 700 unarmed men, women, and children had been murdered.
And they want us to go into our kingdom singing Kumbaya with these motherfuckers.
Oh, they can make it though.
Wow.
Here it is. They doing all this madness though, but they need salvation. What they need salvation though. They waiting on the Messiah.
They need salvation at the end of motherfucking whip.
It says, cheered by their victory, the brave colonists and their Indian allies attacked village after village, women and children.
Damn, Benedict, I'm cool.
Yeah, you know you always had a coon ass nigga with him.
Damn.
It says women and children over 14. It ends over 14. What? I know way more than just 14. It says over 14 were sold into slavery while the rest were murdered.
Oh, they was, hold on. Pull it up a little further so I can see it. I think they're probably saying that was over 14 years old.
Women and children over 14. Oh, okay. Women and children over the 14 years of age. Okay. Okay, God. It says were sold into slavery while the rest were murdered. It says boats loaded with as many as 500 slaves regularly left the ports of New England. Bounties were paid for Indian scalps to encourage as many deaths as possible.
But hold on, didn't they say the natives were the ones that were doing all the scalping?
You see what I'm saying?
Wow.
And then it says as many as 500 slaves regularly left the ports of New England, man.
Hey, that's like a motherfucking bus. If you miss one, 15, 20 minutes later, you know another one's coming.
But they didn't go into slavery on slave ships.
Man, these motherfuckers that be talking about that, the so-called natives and the so-called Latinos ain't our brothers and sisters, man. They straight bullshit.
It says, following an especially successful raid against the Pequot in what is now Stamford, Connecticut, the churches announced a second day of Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving, damn, the Spirit had me say that.
Thanksgiving, that's right.
It says, announced a second day of Thanksgiving to celebrate victory over the heathen savages.
Wow. Y'all, hold on.
Who the real heathen savages, though?
They help you, but they the heathen.
They came over here, ate your ass, took your land.
I gotta read this.
Go ahead, brother.
This is Ecclesiastes 12 and 10. Never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness.
That's it.
Though he humbleth himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him, and thou shalt be unto him as if thou hast wiped a looking glass, and thou shalt know that his rust has not been altogether wiped away.
Yeah, and you see it. Though he come crouching and humble himself. Oh, how do you do this? Oh, you crack the crops? How often do you? Oh, okay. And as soon as the motherfuckers grow and he get the hang of it, now he comes slaughtering your ass, man.
Hey, it says that right here.
Raping your wife, raping your little son, then eating them afterwards, man.
Set him not by thee. This is 12 and 12. Set him not by thee, lest when he hath overthrown thee, he stand up in thy place. Neither let him sit at thy right hand, lest he seek to take thy seat.
And what he do?
This is scripture, man.
Now you got all these goddamn Edomites talking about, wow, well, I'm part Native American.
Manifest destiny. Huh? Okay. Lest he seek to take thy seat, and thou at the last remember my words and be pricked.
And be pricked therewith, man. You know? And be pricked. Hey. So keep going. Baba Kusha.
Okay. Who would pity a charmer that is bitten with a serpent?
Here it is. You sit down with the snake. Hey, ain't that an old Gadite tale about the snake frozen?
That's right.
The old lady found the snake frozen, came, put him by the fire, nursed him back to health, thawed him out and shit. Then the snake bit her ass. And she like, nigga, I saved your life. I brought you out the cold. Why did you bite me? Motherfucker, I'm a snake.
That's what I do. Yep.
Like, what the fuck?
That's right.
And here it is. That's what's playing throughout history, man. You so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans trusting in this goddamn devil, man. Hey, who gonna pity those that's bitten by the snake, man? You charming that motherfucker. Hey, that's like those Elamite charmers, right? Right. They play the flute. The goddamn cobra come up and shit.
That's right.
One of their ass get bit. Who go, hey, nigga, you shouldn't have been doing this shit, man.
That's it. Go ahead.
Okay.
Who will pity a child that is bitten by a serpent, or any such as come nigh wild beast?
Or who gonna pity the ones? What was that? Roy and Siegfried dude?
Yeah, the lion tamer.
Yeah, that motherfucking tiger was lion. What was
that white tiger?
Mauled his ass.
Yeah.
Who pitied his ass, man? You shouldn't have been fucking with that goddamn tiger, man.
Been beating on that tiger ever since he was a cub, man. You didn't think sooner or later he was gonna look up and say, "Man, fuck this shit."
And that's the pride of Esau, man. You didn't think that was a motherfucking. You forgot he was a tiger. It's madness, man.
800-pound cat, boy. Fuck. Okay.
Now we look at Esau just like that, man. He's the lion, man. This big ass lion going about, man. It says that he lurking in secret places like a leopard and shit.
That's right.
Here it is, we the lambs, man. He a big ass lion and leopard roaming around. What the fuck you gonna sit down with this goddamn dude, man?
No, motherfucker, I already know. So, like I said, so it's feeding time. I'm the meal. I'm the motherfucking meal. So I gotta let your ass be out there and starve. So starve your ass out.
It said, what agreement have the wolf with the lamb?
That's it. I'm gonna let your ass starve. I ain't trying to be there. For a while he will abide with thee, but if thou begin to fall, he will not tarry. The enemy speaketh sweetly with his lips. This is 16. But in his heart he imagineth how to throw thee into a pit.
And that's exactly what he did, man. He spoke sweetly with his lips, you know. Oh yeah, but I'll protect you. You protect us from the surrounding, you know, Gadites around here. You know, you'll be safe. And then what happened? He slaughtered their ass, man.
Yeah. He will weep with his eyes, but if he find opportunity, he will not be satisfied with blood.
That bitch. Over 700 men, women, and children, and it was unarmed.
Scriptures say with a continual stroke.
Just like it was further west. Damn, I don't remember the name of it. I'm mad as hell I don't remember the name of it. I just watched it like a couple weeks ago, man. But these Gadites made a treaty with Esau whole ass, man. You know what I'm saying? And Esau told him that, look, if the cavalry come, all you gotta do is fly the American flag. Right. And they'll see that you're an ally and they won't bother you. So the cavalry, they plotted to come in. Matter of fact, they waited for the men to go out to hunt, firstly. And then they came in, right? So the chief was like, oh shit, you know, they shoot motherfuckers and shit. So the chief flew the flag. Man, they kept slaughtering, man. They kept slaughtering. And the dude that led that charge, man, he died old as fuck, man. Happy.
Telling that story.
I'm mad as hell. I can't remember his name, and I can't remember what's the name of that massacre, man.
But you want to know what his way gets real fucking fucked up. I won't say fucked up because Esau is Esau. You make something mention like that, and I'll say stuff because there's a Mexican that's in our department. He'll say certain shit, and I'll say stuff, and the white boy will be right there, and he kind of looks, and he said, well, somebody had to do it. The slaughter, the killing, the taking over the land, and putting these motherfuckers on ship, to bring our people in, or to bring the so-called Negro in here to work the land. And you know what this motherfucker's remark is? Somebody had to do it.
Hey, what's that Psalms? They speak wickedly concerning oppression.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
Exactly. Somebody. If it wouldn't have been them, it would have been somebody.
This is I'm gonna continue to go in this last part of this little paragraph right here. It says boats loaded with as many as 500 slaves regularly left the ports of New England. Bounties were paid for Indian scalps to encourage as many deaths as possible. Following an especially successful raid against the Pequot in what is now Stamford, Connecticut. Following an especially successful raid against the Pequot in what is now Stamford, Connecticut, the churches announced a second day of Thanksgiving to celebrate victory over the heathen savages. During the feasting, they hacked off heads of natives. It says the hacked off heads of natives were kicked through the streets like soccer balls.
This is the soccer shit.
Right?
Yep.
It says even the friendly Wampanoag did not escape the madness. So the ones that made the treaty with the so-called the first Thanksgiving,
right. Got their ass caught up too.
It says what? Their chief was beheaded and his head impaled on a pole in Plymouth, Massachusetts. In Plymouth, where they said all that madness, right? It says on a pole in Plymouth, Massachusetts, where it remained on display for 24 years, man. So they had this man's head.
It stank, right? You know what? You know when a rat dies in the alley, what it smell like when you got there? You're like, damn, this motherfucker's head was up there for 24 years.
24 years, man. 24 years. And you got you simple ass niggas celebrating this wicked ass day, man. It says the killings became more and more frenzied.
Yeah, they went to a bloodlust, man.
Hey, can we get a what's that? Amos 1:11?
Sure.
Bible Kushai.
No problem, gotcha.
You know? Hey, because the Lord, hey, when you read Genesis, the Lord said, I will put enmity between thy seed and her seed, man.
That's it.
It's enmity between the serpent seed and the woman seed. The woman seed is Israel, man.
Since the beginning. Okay.
Jeremiah 6:2. The Lord likened Israel to a comely and delicate woman, man, because a woman don't have seed, man. A woman can't produce seed. So who is the woman seed? It's talking about Israel, man. Who is the serpent seed? It's talking about Esau, Edom. It played out how, man? Hey, Cain killed Abel. It played out again how, man? Jacob and Esau, man. Esau made that promise. He said, the days of mourning my father shall be at an end. And now when I slay my brother Jacob, man, the same hatred, man, you can see it.
That's it. That's it.
Oh, but the so-called white man, Esau is Japhet.
Man.
Oh, Esau is the Arabs. Fuck out of here, man. This is the perpetual hatred that you see, man.
Okay. You see cops that don't even know what happened. They'll roll up on a situation. The motherfucker say, man, this motherfucker did this or this motherfucker did that, blah, 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 blah. They'll be like, yeah, I saw it. They'll co-sign some shit that they didn't even see, taking a chance on losing their own job to try to cover Edomite that just killed a motherfucking nigga. Have no problem. Yeah, I saw when he dragged you. How you gonna see a motherfucker that was dragged? That old man that they shot in the car, and they were talking about they dragged him and he didn't. It was like he popped the old boy and took off because he put a bullet in his head. His foot hit the floor on the gas pedal. I got that Amos though, 1:11. Thus said Yahweh, for 3 transgressions of Edom, and for 4 I will not turn away the punishment thereof, because he did pursue his brother with the sword and did cast off all pity.
Yeah, this is an example of it, man.
Threw that shit behind him. Threw all pity behind him. Fuck him. Didn't think about his kids. Didn't think about none of that. Threw it all behind him. Matter of fact, what it said did, he said, 14 years old. So anything that was under 14 years old, they killed off.
Probably raped it.
And then killed it. Because they didn't want to feed it, and they couldn't get it to work the way they wanted to. So they sold off it, and they wanted the land. So, here we go. Damn. Thus say Yahweh, for 3 transgressions of Edom, and for 4 I will not turn away the punishment thereof, because he did pursue his brother with the sword, and did cast off all pity, and his anger did tear perpetually.
And it shows, man.
And he kept his wrath forever.
And this is an example of it, man. You know, it shows, man. His actions, man. What would drive somebody to do all these vile acts, man? What would drive somebody to do the atrocities that this devil has done throughout the ages, man?
Because I mean, if you look at the age there, we're looking at what, 16 what around that time, and this is out of Amos, and this was like almost 700, almost 800 years before who they even call Jesus, Yahweh Shah, was even born. Look how all that time, but this was written then. But look at when it was transpiring. He held that hatred. Look at all this time that passed.
Shit, since the garden.
Since the garden, exactly.
Since he had melanin, you know.
Yeah, exactly. Since he had some color. That's right.
It says, you through there?
Yeah, forever.
It says, right here, it says the killings became more and more frenzied, with days of Thanksgiving feasts being held after each successful massacre.
They was going into a bloodlust. That's what me and Demasha might be talking about. These crackers, man, they get into that bloodlust, and like that motherfucking Blade movie, when the motherfuckers started raining that blood down on them, and them motherfuckers got
the bugging up.
There it is.
It says that with days of Thanksgiving feasts being held after each successful massacre, man. So each time they slaughtered, raped, and robbed, man, they would go and have a motherfucking feast. A Thanksgiving feast, man.
And you motherfuckers celebrate that. Oh, man, it's just about the meal. I was about to do that shit. Just about the meal. Spirit wouldn't even let me do it. My sister invited me over. Spirit wouldn't even let me go and deal with it.
It says, George Washington finally suggested that only one day of Thanksgiving per year be set aside instead of celebrating each and every massacre.
Damn!
Your forefather.
Damn!
You know, who these devils? You know what I'm saying?
I cannot tell a lie. Lying like a motherfucker when he said that.
It says later Abraham Lincoln decreed Thanksgiving to be a legal national holiday during the Civil War. On the same day, he ordered troops to march against the starving SEAL in Minnesota. The same day, he ordered the troops to go. They starving, and he ordered them to go get. You know what I'm saying? But Thanksgiving, pilgrims and Indians. While you ordering a hit squad.
That's right.
It says this story doesn't have quite the same fuzzy feeling associated with it as the one where the Indians and pilgrims are all sitting down together at the big feast. But we need to learn our true history so it won't ever be repeated. Next Thanksgiving, when you gather with your loved ones to thank God for all your blessings, think about those people who only wanted to live their lives and raise their families. They also took time out to say thank you to Creator for all their blessings, man. You know, but hey, that's like it says in Genesis 49. It says that a troop troop had overcome Gad, but in the end, he shall overcome that, man. Hey, so Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai is gonna bring vengeance. Matter of fact, can we end with Obadiah 1:15?
Sure. Obadiah 1:15. For the day of Yahweh is near. Upon all the heathen.
Upon all the heathen, every last one of you goddamn fuckers, man. From the basis Esau Edom all the way to Ham, you dirty foot fucker, man. You Elamites, man. Each and every last one of you. Go ahead, Pops.
As thou hast done, it shall be done unto thee.
Thy
reward shall return upon thy own head.
Thy reward shall return upon thy own head. So everything that you did unto the children of Israel, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, man, it's going to be done upon you. And you, Esau, Edom, is going to be done double. Go ahead.
For as ye have drunk upon my holy mountain, so shall all the heathen drink continually.
Yep.
Yea.
You're going to drink continually, man.
They shall drink, and they shall swallow down, and they shall be as though they had not been.
Hey, and that's it, man. You know, everything we went through, hey, you gonna taste it. That cup that we drunk, those dregs, you are gonna drink it. Every last one of you. And Esau Edom, you getting a double shot.
That's it.
Espresso. Goddamn devil.
Full of Louis.
Hey, so with that, hey, we hope this lesson was edifying. You know, until next time, we give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the apostles and elders at Great Millstone. And peace and blessings to all you brothers who preach the gospel in truth and in sincerity, always in charity. Shalom.
Shalom.